Hi everyone in Destiny Dreams Land. It is so good to see you again. You might wonder why I am especially excited right now. Well, guess what? This is actually our 1-year anniversary. To God be the glory. I can't believe we started then. That was a great beginning, but we are now on to new beginnings, bigger and better things. I cannot wait to show you what's going to happen this season. We are going to start off with one of my close friends. She has also been such a blessing to me and has worked to allow my dream to become a reality. One of my dreams, besides for Destiny Dreams, is the writing and publishing of my first book. It is called The Right Prescription, Even Christians Get Depressed. You can take a look for it at cranberryquill.com. That's www.cranberryquill.com. Or you can take a look for it on Amazon.com, either or. Obviously, we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but I just wanted to introduce it to you. And I also want to introduce you to my friend, publisher, author, teacher, so many other things. Her name is Miss Renee Gibbs. Hi everybody. As I said, I wanted to introduce you to my friend, Miss Renee Gibbs. Renee, I am so glad you were able to come on the show today. You know I'm a hugger, so I got to get my hug.
Get the hug in.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. Obviously, you have a whole lot of things going on. You are just one amazing woman. So we cannot showcase everything today, but what we're going to do is sort of focus on Cranberry Quill, if that's okay.
That's perfect.
All right. Well, just tell me, how did God plant this particular seed into your heart?
Well, actually, I had thought in terms of writing a children's book, but had absolutely no idea what to do, and started just talking to different people, and my students and my daughter were my inspiration for writing the book initially. And that book right there, The Special Little Christmas Tree, is how it all began. And during the time that I was actually looking for ways to publish, the Lord dropped in my spirit, literally dropped in my spirit, one day you will publish other people. Which, of course, at that time, because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah,
thought,
okay.
Maybe the Lord got the wrong person.
No,
He
knew you.
I know, whatever. And so it was with that it just kind of got stored in my spirit that this is what I was supposed to do. So I went through the process of having my own book published and doing it myself and going through all that. And then in 2005, when I entered the call of my life to do women's ministry, the Lord gave 3 instructions, one of which was to go ahead and begin publishing other people. So in 2008, I walked in obedience and went forward with it.
Praise God.
Yes.
And look at him. It's amazing how he blesses us, but then we're channels of blessings to bless others.
Yes,
so
indeed.
He had you publish yours, and then you were a channel to be able to allow other people to publish theirs as well.
Indeed.
So,
and I understood the journey because I had been through it myself. So I had that empathy and that compassion for those who desired to see their work in print, but didn't know what to do. So all I could do was basically share my own personal experiences and allow God to orchestrate the business aspects of things and who I should publish and those types of things. But it was truly a ministry first and a business second.
Thank you. So that is just so awesome. We want to actually delve into a little bit more about the actual publishing process, if that's okay.
That would be fun. The publishing process, while some people may think it's complicated, it really is not a difficult process, but it does require one to be diligent about what they're doing and to stay on task. Initially, if someone comes in with a manuscript that is completed, that would be the very first step. If they have not completed a manuscript, then we try to work with them to get it to a polished state so that we can move forward. After we've gotten an approved manuscript, then we start to discuss the aspects under which they would like to be published. Depending on the individual, we can recommend different ways that books can be published. For instance, we have a partnership publishing type setup, and then we have what we call royalty, and each one of those carries different responsibilities. The royalty, the responsibility is totally on our company, and then the partnership is solely on the responsibility as far as the financial aspects on the author themselves. Once the approved manuscript is accepted and we enter into a contract, then we go through our editing phase. We begin to look at the cover design and actually the aesthetics of the book itself. Once all of those things are in place, then we are ready to go to press, and then of course the baby is born, as we like to say. And an author is very excited about the fact that what they had in their spirit is now birthed in the form of a book.
It is so interesting that you talked about the two different processes in getting books published, because I actually got a chance to work with you on both processes.
Yes.
Initially, though, this is the one that was closest to my heart from the beginning. As I mentioned before, the right prescription. Tell me a little bit about what you thought about it. I just remembered God put this on my heart because of an experience that I went through. And being a medical doctor, I thought that was cool because a lot of times you hear about the medical side of things,
Right.
and not necessarily the spiritual side of things. So
Correct.
also being a minister, and what God called me to do was to take that experience that I went through and merge the two together. So that we can take care of the whole person and
Right.
not just one. So I know that you sort of experienced something similar.
Yes.
So I'm so glad that you decided to be able to bring my story out. But how about from your side? What were you thinking
Well, from the
about?
publishing aspect, by us being a Christian publishing company, the one thing that intrigued me about what you had done is we were talking about the fact that Christians do get depressed, and the whole I guess the taboo that tends to be attached to the word depression and Christianity connected. People do not feel that. Well, there are some who do not share that feeling that as a Christian you should also be battling depression. So when we thought from a company standpoint of the perfect book to fit into our royalty category, it was because we really desired to have that book done, and we felt like it would be in our best interest and your best interest for us to just kind of go ahead and contract this project with you and go ahead and do that. And then it also allowed me on a personal level to do a segment of the book as a contribution,
Yes.
which I thought was very freeing for me as well, because I understood the process I'd gone through, and if it could help someone else, then I liked the personal aspect of the entries that were in the book. And then from you, again, like you said before, being a medical doctor and having that prescription, everything just fit. And it just, to me, made it so that those who sought help could use a very compact book without it being so, I guess, medically
Right.
full of things that people would shy away from. But just the simple questions that were asked so that people could do their own checking the box and say, yes, this is me, I'm all three, I'm one of these three. And then understand that, yes, if you feel depressed and you're not alone, there is help for you. And of course the subtitle being even Christians get depressed. So that's how this came about. That's why we wanted to use this as a royalty, which means we as a company finance the project and then just pay royalties based on the sales.
You're going to bring me to tears just in hearing that, just going through and remembering everything.
Yes.
That it was a very emotional book.
Yes.
Obviously, when you have to open yourself up
Yes.
to what you experienced, but to God be the glory.
Absolutely.
If it helps just one,
That's right.
then that's the blessing.
Yes.
The other book, real quick, that I have to sort of tout is the one that I especially made and surprised my daughters with. This is the kooky, crazy, comical world of Kendall and Katrina.
Yes.
This is
Oh,
just
lovely use of K's.
yay.
Yes.
This one is just, my girls like to, obviously joke around and all that stuff, and I just wanted to put it together so that they, who helped me out so many times, could have their own published books.
Yes.
So
Yes.
thank you that you're able to allow us to do those things as well.
Right.
Just specialty type books.
And that's one of an example of a partnership. We partnered with you to do the things that you needed done, and then you could guide it, you could control the destiny of it and the manufacturing of it and all those things. And it was just a fun project to do, knowing that it was going to be a surprise for your daughters, and that they themselves were so much a part of this, and it really was their book, their work. And so that's where the partnership side of publishing comes in, because it's not a one-size-fits-all type of situation, and that's why we like to meet with customers or clients, prospective clients, and talk it through and say, well, what's going to work best for you versus this is the only way we have to do a certain thing. And the other part of that is, if we feel like there's something that we can't do, then we try to guide and direct and help people, because like I said before, we want to see this as a ministry first and then a business second, just because of how God brought us together in this.
So I see you brought in just a sample of the many books that I know that you've published.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the books?
I can. One of the ones in particular, The House, which is written by Pastor Marco. He is a pastor out of Brazil. And there was just so grateful that John Bevere actually had a recommendation for this particular book.
Wow.
But we were connected through our church, Covenant Love, and we were able to do Pastor Marco's English version of a book he'd done in Portuguese. So we were very honored to do that. And of course, we've got a variety of things, to include a workbook written by Dr. Randy Bell, and that's been very successful as well. But from the for those in the sporting industry, or sporting world, I guess I could say, just a very nice, neat book for those who are golfers. And then, of course, Hall of Famer Reggie Pinckney, who is still, of course, in this area, passed it on, talking about his life and playbook for cultivating success in children. And he basically is a personal story there. And we have things like The Song of the Chimes, which is just a novel, which is one of the very few novels we actually have. Most of the other books that we've done are faith-based, either through poetry with From My Heart, or we have ministry-related from different pastors who have written self-help, not really self-help, but spiritual guides in workbook form to help their congregation and others that they come in contact with. So this is just a sampling of many books that we've done. Currently, we have 6 new books that are due to be released, so we're very, very excited about that, and looking forward to what what Lord has in store for the future.
Yes, obviously he has done so much already. It's interesting you talk about that novel. See, I learned something myself. Yes. I didn't even know you had that side of things, so I have a feeling I'm going to have to take a good look at it. I'm quite sure it's wonderful.
Yes, it is very.
Well, just switching gears for a moment,
okay.
I know that you have other things that you have going on even underneath Cranberry Quill. And one of them is called Think Big. Can you please let us know a little bit more about that?
Certainly. Think Big is a scholarship-based contest, and it's done in honor of my mother, Evelyn Brown, right here. You see her beautiful face.
Yeah.
She was a longtime educator, and after she passed away, I spoke with my father about us establishing something that would honor her on a regular basis. So we developed Think Big. We publish these beautiful anthologies, which are made up of the entries of the young people who are submitting their work for consideration for the contest for the scholarships. We give a total of $1,000 in scholarship money under her name, the Evelyn J. Brown Memorial Scholarship Fund, and we award our first prize of $500, $250, $150, and $100. And then, depending on the sponsorship for that year, we will give honorable mentions in each category for those who were not one of the finalists. And all it is the students submit their work. We have a panel of judges, independent panel of judges, who select our winner from all of the entries, whether they're winners, as far as scholarship recipients or not, they're all winners.
Yeah.
We compile these beautiful anthologies, and the students are able to purchase these, and then we have a reception for them, along with their own their own personal book signing time, and it's wonderful with the parents being there, and it just makes them feel honored and special. And so we are going into our 5th anthology this season, and we look forward to having a lot of young people participate.
Wonderful. As one of the parents, I can really say that this is a great program, because actually both of my daughters were involved. And it's just so wonderful to have an outlet like this now. I really wish that I had one when I was growing up, to really foster even more of the writing skills and all of that. So I think it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
Yes, and I think it's sort of between 6 and 17. That's
the age group is. Thank you for bringing that up. The participants must be between the ages of 6 and 17. So that excludes, of course, adults participating unless the student turns 18 after they have submitted their work. Then we will accept it. But it is solely for young people, which is why we publish under our imprint Write Early Books, which is exclusive for young people ages 6 to 17.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we'd like to know what's next for Cranberry Quill, and also how people can contact you to become involved in everything that you're doing.
Yes. Well, one thing that we are looking to do is to do a little bit of transitioning within Cranberry Quill as a whole. So we're looking at doing more children's books, because that's how I started, and really had prayed that God would allow me to find me again. So I'm still passionate about visiting schools to read my book and to meet the children face to face. So of course in the fall I'm available to do that. And but we're looking at doing more children's books as far as publishing others. So right now the contact information would be, you could give me a call at 910-257-5109. And then, of course, on our website. And we're transitioning that to meet our new image and our new brand, so to speak. But that would still be www.cranberryquill.com. And so pretty much that's it. Those will be the main two things now. We're upgrading our Facebook page. We do have a Facebook page as well under Cranberry Quill Publishing. So you can find us in the regular social media outlets, and of course online, and giving us a call.
Wonderful. So I keep hearing you talk about transition. So obviously I think transition is sort of that last phase in birth, where it may seem like it's really tough at that time, but when you push through, another baby is born. So you have quadruplets and all that stuff coming up. So like I said, so looking forward to all that Cranberry Quill is going to be doing, and staying in contact and connected, and just going forth in God's harvest.
That's right.
So we're excited about that. But before we end the show, we just wanted to give you a little token of thank you for you coming on the show today. So thank you, Miss Katrina. That's our little Destiny Dream shirt. So when you do one of your events, whatever you do, or just wear it at home.
Yes, I would love to do that.
We just wanted to say thank you, just a small thank you for you taking the time to be on the show with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's really been an honor to be recognized for the things that God has been doing.
Awesome. I love you so much. Okay, well, so glad that you were able to be with us today on this 1-year anniversary of Destiny Dreams. You are going to be seeing so many new things, not just from this episode, but for the episodes to come. So we hope that you enjoyed me sharing another one of my buddies with you, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.